Different trims, different driving situations. This is our review of the Jeep Cherokee. Let's go. The most important change with the facelift is indeed the front. You can see here that this very sharp nose is gone, so it's a little bit more roundish, a little bit more in line with the rest of the Jeep models. And those headlamps, before they were very, very slim, now they're a little bit wider again, so it looks, a little bit more like the smaller Compass, for example. Overall, less distinct. And in the front of the Overland, which today stands for our civilized version, you can see everything is in vehicle paint, so not this off-road contrast as we've just seen with the Trailhawk. 4.62 m, 15 foot 2 or 182 inches is the length of the Jeep Cherokee, mid-size SUV between the Grand Cherokee and the smaller the Jeep Compass. The Trailhawk here is the off-road version. You can see it here with those plastic wheel arches, very nice off-road look. I think it also does fit to the Jeep overall a little bit better. Also with smaller wheels, 17-inch. So although it is a high trim cost-wise, smaller wheels on purpose, because then you have more tire to work with. Here the Trailhawk at the rear, very interesting. You have this red towing hook. So we would say, not that you can be pulled out, that you can pull other people out, of course. Then you have a Trailhawk logo, a modern braking light signature here also for the Overland, and of course they have the basically same shape, but again the Overland here with a gray contrast, so not too much contrast, especially to this color. This is the big news. This is a 4-cylinder engine, 2 liter of displacement, turbocharged, 270 horsepower, and the fastest one for the Cherokee yet, 7.3 seconds to 1 kilometers or 62 miles an hour, or 7.6, a little bit slower than here for the Trailhawk, just because of the wheel size mainly. Well, and then this one here is the big news. We're driving to that one here today. But let me also sum up. There's also, especially for the European market, a 2.2 liter diesel. For the US market, you still get a 3.2 liter V6. That's now out of the European game because of those new testing cycles for the consumption and also for the emissions. And then you also get this 2.4 liter petrol engine, a little bit older one. But you also get the new one here, the 2 liter petrol engine in the US. So again, really looking forward how that one performs, both from performance and from consumption later on. Also soft materials at the inside of the doors here in the top part, and those ones here also quite well done from the build quality. Other parts like those window buttons are just, let's say, basic. The space at the inside of the doors is also somewhat limited. Seats would also start with fabric surfaces from the base, therefore I recommend the entry versions of the Cherokee, that you can also save some more money. The top trims usually then come here with the animal skin. Let's get inside, and I'm 1.86 m or 6'1". And you wonder, oh, do I sit really far behind? Well, that's the thing. It's also a comfort feature. So when I turn on the ignition, the seat comes automatically forward. And in this case also starts beeping because the door is opened at the very same time. So in this case, I'll turn it on off once more. So as for the headroom, well, I would usually be sitting here, and there's not too much headroom, but still some left. So it's 1.90 meters or 6'2", it will still work. Interior overview, which is really defined by this central element right here. It houses the touchscreen, 7-inch is base, 8.4-inch. This one here is the optional one that is available. And I'll soon show you more details to that. One interesting thing is that you have a classic climate unit for the temperature and for the vent strength when the car is running, and then the central screen. So where the vents are coming from, told you earlier, you have to pick it right here. And I have to say, even if you're in the lowest vent mode, it's actually quite loud in this vehicle, how the vents are actually, and then it's getting really loud, actually, but it's even dampened with our microphone here. The GPS is actually quite cool because in the map you can have this nice lake or shore simulation here, right? And it's quite responsive too, so fast reaction, and it also let us quite well as for the guidance so far. In apps, you will have then also the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto available, and here in phone, you can also connect the phone. Bluetooth is also possible, and if I put in the reverse gear, you also have this rear view camera. Here those instruments. You can see the middle part can be used, for example. Then you can also easily change from kilometers to miles. That's pretty helpful. So you can also see some GPS information there, for example, when the route is running. So overall, a nice mix. And important, of course, for the Trailhawk, you can pick the driving modes here and also have the four-wheel drive low mode, then also hill descent control and also a rear differential lock. Smartphone connection is right there. You can plug it in, then for the CarPlay and out, and you can actually store your smartphone. So, and also bigger smartphones will work there. Getting in the rear, first of all, what's good here, the door in the rear opens almost 90 degrees. That's good to get in and out, and also for parents to install child seats, for example. And there's also soft touch at the rear doors. We rarely find this these days. Then legroom, well, it does exactly fit right here when I'm driving. And yes, I let the ignition on, so the seat would be in the forward position. There it is. And also this cabin trolley fits in a vertical way, so upright. This cover here is a little bit wobbly. I like it more when it has some roof rails. And yeah, but yeah, that's how it is. So, but then how does it look like when the luggage is out? So I don't want the luggage to roll into the lake. And now what about some measurements? The length here is about 85 centimeters. Let's check out this new engine. Let's put it here in the sport mode. In the sport mode, you can see also this off symbol here. The stability control is drawn back a little bit, and we can let it fly a little bit more and see about the performance of this engine, because this one is the strongest or the fastest, so to say, the fastest in acceleration engine here for the Cherokee yet in the lineup, even faster than the so far V6 engine. Let's see about that. So the Cherokee is set out to be there, let's say a little bit sportier road SUV. But of course, you still have this off-road suspension, which is quite soft. And also here in the Trailhawk version, you have those 17-inch wheels with the semi-off-road tires. So it doesn't give you a stiff, sporty experience at all. But you can see here from the engine, it is a decent performance. The sound's also not too bad. Of course, you don't have any serious feedback here from suspension or something. That's also not how it's meant to be. Here in the Sport mode also, shifting reacts a little bit differently, so the gears are turned up higher and the shifts down earlier. But of course, you can also do it right here with the shifting pedals, so you can shift down yourself. Let's mute that guidance. So you can shift down yourself. That's also helpful when you have some overtake. Oh, that's sporty here. shift up here. That's a lot of fun to use the shifting pedals right here. So for an off-road capable SUV, you still have somewhat sporty driving, but then again, suspension is quite soft. Here, with the steering wheel for city driving and slower driving, it's actually quite good. But as soon as you attack the roads a little bit more, you lose a little bit of feeling for the vehicle. But here you already have the upright seating position, so it feels somewhat like a grown-up SUV already, so you won't miss that. Of course, in the Grand Cherokee you sit even higher and have a little bit, bigger feeling overall. That's the difference. If you compare the Jeep Compass to this one here, yes, the Compass feels a little bit more compact to drive, a little bit more, It comes pretty close, So, but this one here, dimensions, it's a little bit longer. So indeed, they both come close, but you feel some, smaller nuances. Also, if you look at just the facts, it's very interesting that the Compass has actually a little bit more leg room, although it's shorter. This one then has a little bit longer trunk. But definitely the package is better in the Compass, so the overall ratio from exterior length to the interior, because the Compass is the newer car, it's a better package, better platform, and so to say, so they used it a little bit better. So yeah, the Cherokee then, if you want a little bit different styling, maybe if trunk length is also a little bit crucial for you, and this one here offers a little bit more luxury features than the Compass, also like a little bit bigger screen and so on. Well, since this one here is the Trailhawk, let's also show you some off-road situations. Most of those you can just handle as it is in the normal driving mode, but you also have the sand or mud mode. Then the stability control is drawn back, and you can also have some more wheel spin, and so to say. This is really helpful and is a little more fun to drive when the stability control is drawn back, especially in sandy situations and so on. And of course, totally enough for all the soft off-road situations you might encounter with this vehicle. Well, but let's just imagine we have a really harsh off-road situations here now. Then we would go to the neutral here, and we can put in the 4WD low mode. This is a real low range gear. We can also apply a rear differential lock. So first a remark to the consumption overall. We did some further testing, of course, a longer trip, and also with some more even roads to get out, the bias as for the topography. And then we could score some 10 liters or more kilometers, or 23 mpg US, 28 mpg UK. Lamps and everything, it more looks like a normal Jeep, fits more to the normal lineup, whereas before it was really more unique, stand out. As for the interior, we've seen some light and shadow. For example, good that they use a lot of soft plush materials. Then again, some other detail finish that they could still work on. Good that they are with the facelift. You got the new infotainment systems, for example, and also with newer, bigger screens. And as for driving, actually showed a very neutral setup, so you could very well use it for the road. Also a little bit of off-roading, that's also no problem, especially here for the Trailhawk. Also quite refined as for the noise installation and so on. It doesn't feel too different in driving as for the Compass, but it does feel very different to the Grand Cherokee. There you can also differentiate a little bit in driving. But here, also with the new petrol engine, is a very interesting choice if you're not going too many kilometers or miles per year as an alternative to the diesel. And although it has less displacement than this big V6, This one here is now the fastest engine in the lineup.